Hello, folks. Old Hunter here. I'm telling a little story today about when me and the wife would go up to Michigan, meet a bunch of friends that lived up there, and we drive all the way up, almost on the Great Lake, not probably no one 7 8 miles from Great Lake, and up in the northern part of Michigan, and we go morel hunting for morel mushrooms. Anybody that's never had a morel mushroom don't know what they're missing. It tastes like you eat a good choice T-bone steak. Got a very meaty flavor. And there was probably 15 or 20 of us that would pick. Most of the wives would stay at the campsite. We had about 12 campers there, I guess. And Ken and Claire May, which are good friends of ours, they brought a big old, like a tent thing without a floor. It was probably 20 by 20. And we put tables in there, and that's where we go in. Excuse me, we go in, we cook. We play cards at night, we play dominoes, just all kinds of, just having a good time. And Ken, he was the type of fellow, sort of like me, he was always building something. He built something that was just unreal. He took a bowl out of a dryer. It was either a dryer or wash, I'm not for sure which one, but it was one of them old granite ones. He made a set of legs to put on that son of a gun. Then he made a swinging cover on the bottom that would cover a hole in the bottom. Okay. Then on the top, he took a piece of 1/2 inch plate. It was probably about, I'm gonna say it was probably 3 foot square, 2.5 to 3 foot square, and it sat on the very top. And he also cut a hole and put a stovepipe and run it up about 15, 20 foot. That way everybody can sit all the way around it, right up next to it when it's cold and everything. You can get smoke in your eyes. The smoke without the smokestack up over the top of your head. And I'm going to tell you what, that thing, we've cooked on it more than we did the stoves. We really did. Everybody has over in their camper like that. But you can take and clean that plate a little bit like that and throw some steaks up there, whatever you want to. And I'm telling you what, you couldn't eat them no better than that. And there was always a fire going there. We'd stay up there about 7 days, and there's always a little fire going. So there's always a pot of coffee in the very back, off the top of the thing, but still on that plate. And it was still hot as you would want it back there. I always had a pot of coffee back there any time anybody wanted any. One time Clara made, she cooked up a big old pot of the little white northern beans, and she cooked them down into like a soup. And they stayed on that thing for 3 days. I ate them little beans every day. I was laughing eating them. Everybody else just about give up on them. But they were so good, it was unreal how good it was. Now, we'd cook morel mushrooms every night. Like I said, there's probably about 20 of us picking. And you'd probably, everybody averaged 30, 40. You know, it was a good day. So they had quite a few. And they're not near as large as, of course, this is dried. So it was probably about this long before it was dried. But they're not as big as what I've seen on television that day. They're showing people picking morels. They didn't pick things that long and that big around. I've never seen a morel that big in my life. Not even in Alaska, but I guess maybe they're getting bigger or whatever. But anyway, we'd always have morels for our supper. And the way you cook them, you wash them real, real good and kind of hot water. And that way, if any bugs or anything, then they'll come out. Then you take them out, you put them in flour, and then you fry them in butter. You have never put nothing in your mouth as good as a morel mushroom. And the next morning, what was left over, we cook it up with eggs. It'd be just like eating steak and eggs or omelet, you know. Chop them morels up in there, and boy, none of them went to waste, I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, this jar right here, this has got some dried morels. You can see them on the plate.
Pass me the plate and I'll bring it closer to the camera. You keep on talking.
The last day I went, the ones I picked, I dried them. They told me how to do it, and I dried them. And they good. These are probably, I'm gonna say these are probably 15 years old.
They're probably closer to 20.
And they're just as good as the day I done them. Now,
pass me the jar.
There was a whole lot more when I dried them. It took probably a gallon bag full of them to make them few little morels you see after they dried. If you dry them like that, all you gotta do is just take some warm water and put them in it, and they'll just come like a sponge. It'll pop right back open.
Basically, rehydrating what you dehydrated.
Yeah, and they kind of dry, put a little fire, throw them in the butter, and you got some good eating. I got these just as a memento because we hadn't been up there in 8 or 10 years, if not longer. And all my friends that I knew up there, just every one of them gone now. They're not with us anymore. And we used to have such a good time. But you know, that's life, you know. The day you're born, you start dying. So enjoy yourself and live life to the fullest. And do anything you want to do and enjoy yourself. If you say, well, I ain't got the money to do it with, well, save your money to do it with. Or I don't have the time. Make the time. You'd be surprised how much money and time you can actually save up. And like this trip like this going up to Michigan, all it's just the gas up there. The gas wasn't that expensive back then. And we all pitched in. Stopped at a great big store on the way up there. We all pitched in, I think, about $40, $50 a piece. And went in and we bought coffee and bacon and eggs, and you name it. Everybody pitched in. We had 2 or 3 carloads of groceries. One thing about it, we didn't go hungry. I'm going to tell you that right now. We ate good. There was beautiful woods up there because they had that great big old maple trees and everything. It's a pretty beautiful woods. And it's not like down here in the south, you know. You get so much thick underbrush and all, it's hard to see very far. But up there, it was clear because there was so many leaves on the ground and the trees were so big that grass and bushes and stuff didn't hardly ever grow unless it was a spot that was cleared out or something, you know. Now, the first time I went up there, let me tell you something. Them little boogers are hard to find. I was doing it wrong. I was looking down at my feet, walking around, and my friend said, oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. There's one. And finally, my good friend Gordon said, Pat, let me tell you what you're doing wrong. I said, what's that? He said, you're looking too close. You got to look off kind of the distance. And you'll see them sticking up. If you look at close, you'll overlook them. Might not be that much sticking out beneath them maple leaves, you see. But at a distance, you'll see that thing sticking up. So after he told me that, I got to walk and watch ahead about 6, 7, 8 feet. And sure enough, I started finding them, you know. And I thought I'd get my share of them too. And it makes me sad to think that I won't ever do that again, because that was a very good part of happiness on me and the wife, that we really had a good time. We enjoyed them. We loved our friends up there. And God bless them for introducing us to picking morel mushrooms. Well, folks, that's about it for today. I'm going to leave it one final saying, and I always try to say this: life is short, but death is forever. See you later, folks.